We are starting by Mwalimu sharing something here. Very important. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that most of the businesses that we have, most establishments in this country collapse before they celebrate their second birthday. Actually, over 80% of startups in Africa collapse before their second year. Before, I mean, the maximum time we give most of them are how many years? 2 years. Is it because most of entrepreneurs are stupid? No. I'm telling you, I know of some entrepreneurs who are putting in so much time, so much energy into whatever they are doing, but at the end of the day, the output cannot be seen. I'm so sure whatever I'm discussing about how I've started this webinar with that statement, I'm so sure that there must be some entrepreneur here who can relate with what I'm talking about. These are the guys who are able to hit their offices as early as 6 in the morning. They are leaving their offices at 9. But the output in terms, for example, even their take home alone, what they are able to take home from their business is almost negligible, if not nothing. At times, they are not even able to cover their employee costs. So you get somebody, in this case here, you're working so hard, but we have by the side here, employees who are looking for you, helter-skelter, looking for you all over, demanding for their dues. I mean, that is not a very nice experience. As an auditor, I happen to be dealing with very many businesses. And of course, being in this industry where we are training business students, entrepreneurs, I've seen it all. And I know that most of the times, ladies and gentlemen, of course, many of these guys will tell me that why business collapse is capital. No, I know of so many guys who have sunk in 3 million, 5 million into a business, and then at the end of the day, they are not able to get anything much, anything to smile about from these kind of businesses. Then what is the problem? I'll be able to predicate my speech today on this famous balanced scorecard. So balanced scorecard is a model that was developed by Kaplan and Norton, some great scholars. We must give credit to them. They told us that for us to be able to succeed, as this diagram is showing us here as a business, we must be visionary. We must be able to see where we are going as an institution, and we must have a game plan. We must have a strategy of how to walk there. And for that to happen, they gave us 4 key areas that we must always ensure that we place our hands tightly on them to ensure that the business succeeds. And with my experience, any business that uses this financial, or rather which uses this balanced scorecard, normally does very well at the end of the day. So if there is anything that I would want, of course, you can even end this meeting here. But the most important thing that I would want you to write down that you can do a lot of research on later at your own time is what we call the famous BSC, balanced scorecard. The balanced scorecard, from the word balanced, as we run around, we need to balance stuff. It's about balancing between long-termism and short-termism. Directors who are only thinking about short-term, that they only want profits, 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 they will end up sacrificing so many great things that would have really helped the organizations in the future. Directors, ladies and gentlemen, who keep on thinking about short-term, every time they're only thinking over how much have we made in terms of profits, they'll sacrifice things like training their employees. They'll sacrifice things like, for example, quality. They may steal from the customers in terms of giving them inferior quality, thinking that, fine, we are here to make just revenue, but are you thinking about the long term? If you're thinking about long term, then quality. So we must be able to balance between long-termism and short-termism. We're not saying that you give your customers a very high quality very high quality. Of course, we would want the quality to be very high, but what if they are not willing, ladies and gentlemen, to pay for that very high quality? What should you do? And that is why I love the Chinese model. You know, if you want, for example, the very best phones globally, you can only get them in China. And if you want the worst of the worst, you'll also be able to get them in China. So they'll basically ask you, if you want a phone from their shops, how much are you willing to invest? So when we talk of balanced scorecard, we are looking at two things: short-term, long-term. We are looking at two things again in another categorization. We are looking at balancing between qualitative and quantitative. You know, many of us think that life is all about quantitative. Quantitative means everything is money, 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 money. No, you can make a whole ton in this world in terms of money, but if you're not looking at qualitative aspects, things like simple things. How good are you to your employees? How do you motivate your employees? If you remember the concept of Elton Mayo is a great scholar who spoke about empathy at the workplace. He coined what we call the school of human relations, the school of human relations, the school of human relations. So he told us at the end of the day, what matters most in these companies is how do you relate with your stakeholders, employees, within this case here, you are bankers. A banker, you're laughing with this banker today, when he's advancing a loan of 10 million to you, 3-4 months down the line, you can't even pick their calls. All right, then you'll not be going anywhere as a business. Ladies and gentlemen, listen and listen to me very well. Listen and listen to me very well. If we would want to succeed as a business, we must always think about this balanced scorecard. It's quite a heavy tool. It is talking about vision. We must be visionary as directors, as management, and we must have a strategy. And there is something very important that I would want to speak to you about. The first perspective and a balanced scorecard where we need to score well is this internal and the business processes. And we're being told that to satisfy our shareholders and the customers, what processes must we excel at? Ladies and gentlemen, if you would want your business to outlive you, here I'm advising you as an auditor, Aura and the company, right? CPA. You must invest in processes. You must invest in internal control systems, ICS. Remember this research that was done just here the other day, where they said that about 70% of employees in Kenya here go to their workplaces every morning with an intention of stealing. So if you are working around with that, and that is why we are told as professionals to be very skeptical. Always exercise what we call professional skepticism. Fear everybody. Have doubts in whatever people are doing around you. Because most of us, ladies and gentlemen, we are thieves. It's only that we have never gotten a chance. So the processes must be right. We must have a strong internal control system. Remember, a strong internal control system basically has got those objectives. You remember them. The objectives here are a stop. So internal control systems, if they are good, then we should be able to get accurate reports. That is a stop. We should be able, in this case here, to safeguard all assets of the company, regardless of how big they are, how small they are, regardless of their size, regardless of their value. We must safeguard all assets of the business. We must get a stop T. We must get reports on time. And that is why we shall be recommending what we call an ERP system. If you don't have an ERP system in your business, ERP, enterprise resource planning system in your business, then there is nowhere you are going as a business. Apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, a stop, there must be order in your company. And when I come to your company, like most of the people that I audit, you'll even get people who don't have very nice filing systems. It is only when KRA comes around, that is when they start running around. Like in this case here, some chicken that is to be cooked in the next minute. You need to keep a filing system that can be tracked. All your expenses, in this case here, receipts, everything, you need a very good filing system. Very important. There must be order at the workplace. There must be a structure that is respected. There must be what we call an organizational structure. We have the CEO who falls below. There must be order. How do we report? There must be order. A stop, the last one, P, is prevention of fraud and error. So we must have strong internal control systems. Aura and the company, certified public accountants, we are ready to work with you in this journey of setting up of internal control systems, ICS. Ladies and gentlemen, the first, and this is the only perspective we are talking about today. I'll be able to talk about the other perspectives later. We must ensure that our business processes are all right. When we talk of business processes, we are looking at automation, ensure that you automate your processes. And then number two, we are looking at compliance. Talk about compliance is our audit manager, Mr. Job, sorry, I can't call you Mr. really, is CPA Job Madede. CPA Job Madede is basically a guy doing a great job around here, and I would want to invite him basically to speak to us about compliance in terms of tax and any other areas. And I'll give you only 3 minutes, Job, CPA.
Thank you so much, Prof. I hope I'm audible enough.
Very audible, yes.
Thank you so much. At Aura and Company, basically, as compliance is concerned, we are mainly concerned with our clients ensuring that they are compliant to the Income Tax Act, and they also compliant to the VAT Act, just the entire Kenya Revenue Authority requirements. That is our main focus. So what we consider mostly is how our clients dealing with their day-to-day taxes. Are they computing the right tax? Are they remitting the right tax? And are they remitting it on time? This, we do it by ensuring that we work together with our clients and we keep on monitoring and giving support behind everything that's being done as taxes are concerned. And that's not just enough. We keep on updating our clients on a day-to-day on what they need to do. Any changes within the legislation of the Income Tax, the VAT Act, the Tax Procedure Act, we normally give information to our clients on a daily basis, and on a weekly basis and on a monthly basis. So everything that comes up, even the new finance bill that people are
CPA Job, we lost you. Hello, are you guys able to hear me? CPA Job, I can see you're back. Yeah, please. Yes. CPA Job, we can't hear you at all, but most importantly, as we wait for him to come back, we are so categorical on KRA matters, ladies and gentlemen. We are so categorical and so focused on KRA matters for our businesses. That is the businesses we represent. Currently, we are going to represent some customers at the tribunal, and I can tell you, KRA is not a small matter. Complying is always the good thing to do. It's cheaper to comply. Because currently, look at, for example, the kind of cases people are getting. You get, for example, currently we have some client. This client is quite wealthy. He's been able to build very good apartments. I'll not mention because when he hears this, he can easily relate to himself, which would be very bad. That's not for us, really. We always look at client confidentiality. Now, you know what is happening? This guy, when he was building up, he was not even maintaining any records. He doesn't have any records to show like, this is how I sourced my income. I used to be employed here and here. I used to do this. And this is how I was able to build up these funds, ladies and gentlemen, to build these apartments. So right now you'll get, for example, we have, in this case here, money laundering following him, right? We have in this case here so many bad things. If there is anything that you should do, please, as a client of ours, ensure that you have got somebody, a good accountant, to work with you this journey. Never ever should you spare point saying that accountants are expensive. Once in this case, you have gotten a good footing and you can afford an accountant, then automatically hire an accountant, work with them. Actually have a fully fledged department of accounting and finance and get people that you are able to listen to when they advise you, hey, you director, this thing you are doing here, like for example, you are always getting money from business without even telling us. That is wrong. You need to be very faithful and honest to your accountants. That's very important. And of course, if you are not in a very, very good footing, you are just a startup, then we can organize through Aura and the company and give you bookkeeping services, where we shall be able to agree at some nominal figure. It could be about 30,000, 40,000. We do bookkeeping for you from our office. But then should we agree to do bookkeeping for you, we also don't do bookkeeping manually. That one I refuse. I always chase people from my office. If somebody wants me to have no, we have to agree that you invest in an ERP, a good ERP, enterprise resource planning system. It's part of the business processes, which is able to track down, ladies and gentlemen, so many things for you. All right. Once you have, in this case here, these, ladies and gentlemen, ERP system, then we'll be able to track down from your finance and the costing. How do you cost your product? ERP will be able to do that for you. Many of us sell things outside here at a loss, at a price which cannot cover the cost. So you need to know the costing. We need, in this case, ladies and gentlemen, to look at the financial reporting bit. We'll need an ERP system that will be able to track our inventories. We'll need an ERP that has got great dashboards. Dashboards that, for example, I can go there and see how my sales for yesterday were. Dashboards that will be able to give me graphics and tell me, for example, this is how you are doing through what we call the Power BI. All right. So I don't know whether Joe Madrid, because now I'm calling over this meeting in the next 5 minutes. I don't know whether you are back and whether we can hear you, because I think you are really making putting across a very good statement here.
All right. Thank you. Sorry, I got lost, but I hope I'm clear enough.
Very clear now.
Yes, I was just bringing to the fact that at Aura & Co, when we are dealing with audit and specifically the tax part of audit, we make sure that our clients are compliant. And compliance here means we look at all the aspects of tax as Kenya Revenue is concerned and ensure that we work with our clients for them to be compliant. In compliance, we ensure that we get the relevant changes in the legislation in the industry, and we update our clients on what they need to do. 2, we work with our clients to ensure that the changes that are implemented are also effected at their places of work. And 3, we also make sure that apart from implementing, they report the right tax to the Kenya Revenue Authority. So it's a wholesome process from compliance all the way to ensure that the actual tax that is paid is the real one that they're actually supposed to pay. And we also help them understand what it means to do tax planning. So these are the things when we talk about compliance as tax is concerned that we do at Aura & Co. Thank you, sir.
Great. Great. Only that, I mean, that's quite a strong statement that would want you to comply. The other thing that I would want to add, you as a taxpayer, you need to know your rights. We've seen severally, even actually officers who are not even coming from KRA, they go to premises simply because somebody tells you that I'm coming from KRA, you start coughing money. No, know your rights. For example, when anybody comes in this case here to your offices, they are making in this case here, first of all, KRA has to write an email to you, right? Even the documentations in this case that they would want for an in-depth examination, they have to state them. They can't just walk to your office and then you start, in this case, dishing money left, right, and center. No, you need to know your right. For example, even when they walk here, you can tell them straight away that, you know what, I need my 21 days, right, notice to be able to put my house together. So knowing your rights, that's very important. And that's, of course, why we as Aura & Company are able to advise our clients accordingly. Their clients in this case here, for example, when they get a tax assessment, you get a tax assessment, and then the next thing you think about is to write an objection letter that you would want in this case here to go to the tribunal. There are things that you can mitigate before they reach there. But unless you have got very good grounds, how do you go? I've seen people going to the tribunal. How do you go to the tribunal and yet you don't even have any paperwork? Right? And that is why when you come over here, if you don't have any accounts, we shall start straight away, first of all, by doing some bookkeeping for you. Of course, it will be in complete records, but we'll struggle with you. We'll struggle with you. And as my friend has said here, we shall really be able, through legal means, try in this case here to reduce that tax burden for you through tax avoidance. And then, of course, Aura and Core, our business is also to be your external auditors. So if you have got any business for us where you would want an external auditor to come and look at your financial statements, and then at the end of the day, we shall be able to give an opinion, an independent opinion that we shall be able to do very well. And then, of course, we shall be able to leave you with a management letter with a lot of advisory to you. So if you're interested in our services, ladies and gentlemen, please don't fail to hit my number. My usual number is 0721 620 183. I'm repeating again, 0721 620 183. I'll be able to talk about risks in a different session. I hope all of you are members of our Business 101 WhatsApp group. I'll be sending links there for this kind of discussions. Often we shall be having this kind of discussions many times. Otherwise, it has been a pleasure hosting you this afternoon. I look forward to ensuring that we run businesses that thrive in the long term. We don't want you to run very fast. You are tracking your revenues up and up, and then the taxman comes and takes up everything. Thank you and bye-bye. Bye.